Hi everyone, my name is John Cottrell and I'm at 21st Yoga in Salt Lake City. I'm going to be guiding you through a Power Hour class today, and our focus of our class is going to be on binds. Binds. I'm going to say a little bit more about that as we get into the practice. Now for props, I won't be using many props during this practice, but you're certainly welcome to use props. I always like to have handy maybe a block or a strap, even a blanket for your Shavasana practice. Just use the props that you're used to using or you think you might want to use during your practice. But again, I won't necessarily be using them. Alrighty, we're going to begin our practice. We'll start together here in mountain pose. So I invite you to stand with your feet about hip distance apart, your toes pointing forward, just to construct a sense of alignment in the lower half of your body. You can always change this position if you need to, just so it feels a little bit better on your knee joints or ankles or even your hips. But mainly just to stand in stillness. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your gaze and just turn inward. As you move inside of self, begin to notice your breath. Just notice your steady breathing in and out. Even notice the quality of your breath. Are you able to take slow, deep breaths? Also notice if your breath happens to be choppy or short. Or are they long and deep? It's just an awareness. No need to place any judgment on your breath. Just be aware of how you're breathing at this moment. As we stand in stillness together, this is a great opportunity to create an intention for your practice. Since we'll be focusing on binds, I want you to perhaps think about the binds that you might be experiencing presently. Those barriers, those things that are in your way. Obstacles that don't allow you to move forward, where you feel locked in place. We move through this practice together to be aware of those binds, those things that hold us back, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. And in our movement together, we'll experience not only being in those binding positions, but also releasing ourselves from them. Let's take 3 more slow breaths in and out as we prepare our bodies to move. Taking these deep breaths again, perhaps thinking about those binds, those obstacles, those barriers that are in your way at the moment, so that we can remove them, release them, and feel freedom from within. When you're ready to move, inhale and extend your arms overhead, so a nice big stretch. Reaching high. Exhale, let's fold forward. So it's a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs and extend your spine nice and long and flat. Exhale, let's return to a forward fold. Let's hold here for a moment just to release perhaps your back. You can hang heavily forward if this feels okay for you. Maybe some circles of your shoulders. Roll your shoulders backward. Roll them forward. This is a nice posture to begin that awareness of what is holding on to you. Those binds, tension, tightness. We tend to hold that in our upper bodies. Even a little shake of your head and neck. Some release. If it feels okay, a little sway left and right. Let's already begin to let go of those things that are holding on to us. Now go ahead and lean back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward to help extend your spine, extend your arms out to the side. Full breath in, coming all the way back up to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Let's just quickly flow through that once again, our half salute. Inhale, extend your arms into the sky. Another big stretch. Exhale, a swan dive forward. Again, a good hinge of your hips, making your way down. Inhale, rising up halfway. Fully extended spine as you're able. Exhale, let's fold.
Let's move right away. Lean back into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, return to a standing position, reaching high. Another big stretch. Exhale, bring your palms together and back down to your heart. Hold here for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. We're just warming up the internal body, getting in tune with the breathing. Let's continue with our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. Exhale, again, leading with your heart. Fold forward with soft knees, making your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, long, flat back. We'll call it monkey pose. This exhale, bend your knees enough to place your palms on your mat so you can step back into plank pose, a high push-up position. Breathing in, good extension through the body. This exhale will finish the push-up, coming down. Let's come all the way down to the ground. Long legs, point your toes behind you. Hands can stay right here below the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and away from the floor, squeezing shoulder blades together in a slight lift of the upper body. You don't have to lift your head at all. Just kind of keep the head and neck neutral. Just feel the engagement of the upper back as you wrap the shoulders behind you. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, push back to hands and knees, and then lifting knees and hips into the air for downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal the feet here, pressing one heel down, then the other. Take your time with this. Maybe a good exhale as you press one heel down. Inhale in between, exhale as you press the other heel down. Again, just getting some stretch and release in the calf muscles, even the soles of your feet, your toes. Come back to downward facing dog. Let's continue with our lunges. And inhale to extend the right leg out, reaching back. Exhale, let's guide right foot to the top of the mat. Once you've landed, let's turn the left heel to the floor. Be sure to shift your weight back into that left foot so you feel well grounded. You might rise up to fingertips here to extend your spine. Then rise up, reaching into the air for warrior one. And our exhale, let's return. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Slide or step that right foot back into plank pose and come down. You can do that low cobra pose again or move right into upward facing dog as you inhale. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Right away to the other side, we'll inhale to extend left leg into the air. And our exhale to guide left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor, shifting the weight back. Nice and solid on the ground. Long spine. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Keep it moving. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Let's set or slide the left foot back, plank pose. Complete your series. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. We're going to go to the floor. Just bring your knees to the floor. We're going to sit back and then just sit down. Sit in the center of your mat. You're just going to swing the legs around to the front here. We're going to lie down. We're going to move into bridge pose. So as you lie down, make sure the spine is nice and long. Go ahead and bend your knees so your feet are pressing firmly into the ground. But just take a moment first just to relax into the earth. You can kind of disengage. Take a few deep breaths. We'll be moving into our back bend, our bridge pose. We'll start with a nice full breath in to fill up the lungs. Exhale. And then press feet into the floor to lift hips up into the air. Now this is kind of a partial lift. I call this more like a ramp because I haven't really created a full back bend. And you're welcome to stay just like this. If you happen to have a block, you could slide a block underneath you and sit on the block. If you can or want to go a little higher, which I'm going to do, I need to make an adjustment with my feet. I'm going to take them a little closer in towards myself and take them wider a little bit. That creates a little bit more space in my low back and hips. And even use my bent arms pressing into the floor. When I dynamically press into the floor with the feet and the elbows, I can lift up a little higher, more into that back bend. I'm going to do a couple more things here. I'm going to kind of rock my upper body left and right a little bit and walk my shoulders underneath, squeezing shoulder blades together. Now again, I'm still pressing feet and arms into the floor here just to keep the body well lifted. Here's one more thing, and it's actually really our first bind. If you're able, bring your arms down so they're straight on the floor. And if you're able, interlace your fingers underneath you, something like this. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, kind of
Wrapping the spine with the shoulder blades. Now we're folding fingers, and that's what we're really going to be experiencing in many of our binding postures. 2 more breaths in our bridge pose. Go ahead and release the fingers, wiggle your toes forward, and extend your arms up into the air, then roll your way down to the mat. Go ahead and inhale, bring knees to chest with a good exhale, rock your way up. You can take several rocks to get your way up if you need to. And we'll come to boat pose. Let's be sure that the spine is nice and long. I like to sit up nice and tall at first and then lean back, keeping the chin slightly lifted so the neck is long. And you can lean back more to lift your feet. Maybe flex your feet here just to keep them active so your legs can stay strong as well. You can hold on to the legs to lift yourself up so we don't collapse into the back. Let's take some more breaths. As you breathe into your lungs. And exhale. You can even breathe out through the mouth. That's okay. To engage your center here. 2 more breaths. Here we go, breathing in. And our exhale, we're going to cross legs. If you can, hands in front of the cross legs. And maybe just step back, or if you can, hop back into plank pose. Go ahead and finish your sequence. Coming down, Chaturanga Dandasana, up dog, and exhale. Downward facing dog. Let's just continue to add on to our lunge sequence. Inhale, extend right leg up. Let's open the hip here by bending the knee and just feel the knee lift up towards the ceiling, which creates a twist in the body. We'll exhale, we'll unwind, bring right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the floor, shifting the weight back, rising up when you're ready, Warrior 1, and our exhale to Warrior 2. I'm going to make a little adjustment here, just taking the feet a little wider, farther apart, just to get a little bit more into the hips. Hold for a breath or 2 in your Warrior 2, a nice expansion. I like this pose because it's really kind of the opposite of binding because you're so open and expressive of self. Let's take our side angle pose. Reaching forward out over the right leg, angled upper body, rotate your arms like so. Right arm might be braced on the inner right leg, and your left arm reaching into the air initially. Stay just like this. I'm just going to flip around. Because I want you to be able to see this. Because you're going to bring your left hand down behind you. I'm going to give you some options of where you can place the hand. Perhaps here, we'll call this our default, just your hand on your low back, right here. Some of you might be able to take the hand all the way around your body and even touch or hold onto your right thigh. If that's too far, keep it here at center, or maybe place it on your hip. Wherever you have it, see if you can have some mobility in your shoulder. See how I'm kind of rocking it back. We're making circles. Do that a few times. And then on the last one, just hold it back. So there's kind of an opening up through the chest. And if you feel like your body is turning towards the floor, that shoulder might also drop. Can you see this? And so you want to just lift yourself up, turn your whole torso so you're facing the side of the room, and then roll that shoulder back. So you're kind of sideways here. Just like that. Good. Stay where you are. Let's continue. Let's inhale, re-extend this left arm up into the air. Turn, bring hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Finish your flow, come down. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Let's open the hip, bend your knee, a nice lift of the knee. Here's a nice rotation. And the exhale to unwind, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor behind you, shifting the weight back for balance. Rising up, Warrior 1. And our exhale to Warrior 2. And again, maybe making some adjustments. Just taking the feet a little wider as you'd like, just to get more into your hips. And again, that expansive feeling in the body, opening up, kind of the opposite of the binds that we're eventually getting into. Let's reach forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. This is our side angle pose. A nice extension, reaching up, reaching down, and then bring right hand down behind you to low back. Again, that's our default, or around the body to left hip or thigh, or even to right hip. Roll that shoulder. We're just trying to loosen up the shoulders. A lot of our binding today will involve our shoulders, and we need to have good space. On that last one, just hold it back, opening up through the body. Be aware if your torso is falling towards the floor. That means just lift yourself up, literally lift up, turn torso so you're basically facing more of the side of the room, and then roll that shoulder back. Go ahead and inhale, re-extend your right arm up into the air. Turn, hands back down to the mat, step back, plank pose, finishing your sequence. All the way through, meeting together in downward facing. Breathing in right here. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. We'll inhale, come up to standing, reaching into the sky. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Very nice. Good warm-up for the body. All right, let's continue to open up the shoulders a little bit here. Like I said, in some of these binding positions, we really want to have some good mobility in the shoulders. Now I'm going to turn and face away from you, okay, so you can see what's happening at my back. Okay, so let's start with the arms just down by your side. Go ahead and inhale, reach your arms up into the air. Exhale, bring your arms down slowly and bring them down behind you. And if you're able, interlace your fingers, something like this. It's okay if the elbows need to bend, but if you're able, straighten your arms. Now, if this is a little bit too much for your elbows or shoulders, just reach back, okay? So you can have this obvious sensation of the shoulders also drawing back. So your heart is really open, very expansive in the upper chest region. Little squeeze of the shoulder blades together behind you. Now go ahead and bend the knees a little bit. We're going to tip over just like this, not too far, kind of like a chair pose. Just an angled upper body. Folded fingers if they're folded, just lifting away from the low back a little bit. And I'm feeling the knuckles kind of reach back to the back edge of my mat. Squeezing shoulder blades together, just holding here, and just experiencing the opening of the front body. Especially in the front deltoid area, which is here, front of the shoulder, that has that tie-in to the chest. And that tends to get pretty tight. Release the folded fingers. Just go ahead and stand up nice and tall. Reach into the air. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Very nice. Go ahead and just let the arms come down by your side. And you actually just shake all of that out. Wiggle your fingers, maybe a little circle of the wrists, maybe your elbows, and again your shoulders. Again, we hold a lot of tension right up there in the upper body, so let it go. All right, we're going to move into a balancing pose, or a traditional tree pose. We'll start by standing on the right foot. So shift your weight over into the right foot, root down very strongly, feel tall up top, and inhale to feel the breath rising up into your lungs. Exhale to engage your belly. Then we'll float the left foot up into the air, maybe a flexed foot here, just to keep that leg active. We're going to swing the knee out to the side, nice hip opener there, then place the foot on the inside of your standing leg. Once you've got that in place, you want to inhale to extend your arms straight up into the air. Nice lift. You're going to hold for a couple of breaths, and after we've done this first tree pose, we're going to move into another balancing posture. It's really just a continuation from where we are now. One more breath in and out. Let's keep the arms extended. Let's swing that left knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. We're going to catch that knee or just below the knee with the hand and reopen it. And keep this foot flexed just to keep that leg active. Go ahead and take the right arm out to the right side of the room. Reach. Find that wall over there. Now you're going to spin or turn that arm until your palm is facing backward. Bend your elbow, something like this. You're going to slide your hand to your low back here. Now just check in with posture. Be aware if you feel like your shoulders are hunched forward. Stand up tall, roll shoulders back, and if you can, engage your back muscles to hold the posture. Now remember this pose, because this will come in handy a little bit later, okay? Let's go ahead and re-extend this right arm back up into the air. Swing left knee forward. Place that foot back down onto the mat. Let's meet the other arm by reaching the other one up. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Just like that. Again, shake it out. All right, so a couple of balancing poses. A tree pose and that secondary balance. Let's do the other side. First, just finding balance on 2 feet.
Then start shifting your weight over into your left foot, root down into the floor, nice strong leg. Feel nice and tall up top, lengthened spine, core engaged. When you're ready, float your right foot up, flexing the foot, swing the knee out to the side, and then placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. I tend to place mine at the calf area. You can certainly bring it up higher or even lower. If you need the floor for balance, use the floor. That's fine. When you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air. Big stretch, lift yourself up. And your exhale to engage your center. Let's hold for a couple breaths. Don't worry if you fall out of your pose or lose your balance or wiggle a little bit. Let's move into our secondary balancing position. Let's keep the arms as they are. We'll swing that knee forward, right knee forward, lift it with the flexed foot, keep it active. Let's catch this knee or just below the knee. Maybe a little lift and swing it open again with the flexed foot. Just keeps it active. Left arm reaches out to the side of the room. Let's spin the arm so your palm is facing back. Bend the elbow and slide it on like you're sliding on a belt behind you. So my hand is really at the middle of my back, right at my belt line. Check in with shoulders, roll the shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Feel tall here. Nice long neck. Good. Hold. Remember this posture. All right, let's re-extend this left arm up into the air. Swing right knee forward. Let's plant the foot back down into the ground. Bring both arms up into the air. Let's keep it flowing from here. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat. Walk or step back, plank pose. Keep it moving. Come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up. Reach, bend, twist open. Unwind as you exhale. Step through, top of the mat. Warrior one. Left heel, plant to the floor, shift it back. Rise up. Here's our first warrior. Exhale, warrior two. I'm going to take the feet a little wider. Follow me as you're able. Side angle, reaching out with this right arm. Maybe a little bit more. Rotate the arms here until we're in our side angle pose. Once again, bring your left arm down behind you to low back. Now, this can be the end of your pose. Stay like this, or if you want to go a little further, this is another bind. I'm going to consider this a bind, just like this, but here's a secondary bind. If you're low enough, meaning if you're here and your arm, right arm, is low enough where your elbow is below the thigh, you might be able to attempt this pose. You take this right arm, reach underneath the right leg, bending the elbow, reaching up, and as you're able, find this left hand. Maybe the fingers touch, or you can grip or clasp your fingers, like so. And with the upper body, as best as you can, lift away from the floor, lift up, turn torso so you're facing the side of the room. Again, that left shoulder rolling back, to open up through the chest. We are definitely in a bind right here. Lots of sensation, very challenging. And just notice how forceful this really is and challenging it really is. Inhale, re-extend the arms floor to ceiling. Let's turn, let's bring the hands back down to the mat. Coming out of this posture, back to plank pose. Good job. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Other side when you're ready. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend, twist open. Nice hip opener there. As we exhale, we step through. Warrior one, right heel plants behind you. Rise up once you found your balance. Warrior two. Stay here, or let's create a little bit more distance between the feet. Here we are. Then our side angle pose, reaching out and then rotate the arms. Side angle. Right arm will come down behind you. Now again, this can be your pose. This can be considered your bind. Okay? Part of another activation or another description of a binding posture is we're just making contact with ourselves. So a body part on another body part. So here's my left arm braced against my left inner thigh and the right hand at low back. That can be a bind as well. Or we can go a little further. Second bind. If you're low enough,
Reach underneath this left leg with the left arm. Take the right hand down behind you. Maybe fingers touch. It's okay if they don't, if you're going for this. Now, you can see my body is kind of turned towards the floor. If you can't move from here, then stay exactly like this. This is challenging enough. But if you're able, stay in the bind with the fingers clasped behind you, but lift up away from the floor. Turn torso towards the side of the room with that right shoulder rolling back to open up through the chest. And here's our bind. Notice the body parts that are making contact with other body parts. This is a great hip opener here too. Let's inhale to re-extend the arms. Exhale, turn, hands back down to the mat. Let's step back. Here's plank pose and finish the sequence. Inhale, up dog and downward facing dog. Jump, step, or walk. Both feet return to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's reverse the swan dive. Come up to standing, reaching high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pause to complete that full sequence. And then you can go ahead and bring the arms back down by your side. And shake it all out. Alrighty, here comes another binding posture. You probably know it, it's eagle pose. And it's a great bind because we're binding the legs, but it also binds the arms. Now again, I'm going to turn this way, mainly so I don't confuse my left and right. Okay, so I can guide you through the sequence. Again, just starting with your arms down by your side. Nice long neck. Already feel the shoulders roll back, so you have good posture. Together, inhale, extend your arms into the air. Exhale and slowly bring your arms down. Pay attention to your left arm. You're going to bring it down and behind the right arm. So you're crossing at the elbows, having made an X. Keeping the X, you're going to lift your hands like so, and if you're able, wrap it all up, just like that. And it's okay if you can't create that wrap. Maybe that arms just stay crossed. Maybe you can hook some fingers or your thumbs or something, but this is fine just like this. Put a little bend in your knees. Now put weight into your right foot, like you're sitting. A good exhale to pull belly in. Pick up the left leg. You're going to cross that leg entirely over the other. So we've crossed the legs here. Squeeze them tightly. Now some of you might be able to wrap the foot around the calf. I'm unable to. And if you're like me, you can keep the foot right there. You can flex the foot or point your toes, just something active. Now if the elbows are down low and if they need to stay there, keep them there. But if you're able to lift the elbows up a little bit, send the elbows forward. Let's get a little bit more extra squeeze going on here. Let's squeeze the legs a little tighter, pull the belly in tighter, and squeeze the arms in tighter. Definitely a binding position. It also creates an obstacle with your vision because your arms are right in front of your eyes. So it's another obstacle, not being able to see beyond this wall. Let's get out of this sensation. Let's uncross the legs first so you can plant the feet, unwrap your arms, reach out, reach up, big stretch, take your time. Exhale, bring your arms back down. Let it all go. Okay? So that's the experience we want to have, is knowing that you can be in a pose, like a binding position of eagle posture, squeezing, feeling all that sensation and feeling all the difficulties of it, but knowing that you can release. Letting go, and just what it feels like, to let go of that binding sensation. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Inhale, extend the arms into the air. Exhale, bring the arms down. Now pay attention to your right arm. Bring it down and underneath or behind the left, making an X at the elbows. Let's lift, keep them there, or wrap it all up. Like that. A little bend in the knees. And put weight into your left foot. Exhale to engage your core so you can lift up the right foot and cross that leg entirely over the other. Already squeezing tightly, that'll actually help with some of the balance of this. Okay, again, if you can, wrap the foot around the other of the calf. If not, just keep it here, active. Lifting the elbows a little bit, maybe your elbows or your triceps here are parallel to the ground. Feel the elbows move forward. You might even feel a broadening of your upper back.
And imagine you had X-ray vision and you're looking right through your arms. Just to help with some focus. All right, coming out of the posture, we'll start by uncrossing the legs, plant the feet, let's unwrap the arms, reach out, reach up. Exhale, bring the arms down by your side. Let it all go, shake it all out. Okay. All right, let's make our way back down to the floor. Let's flow, let's do a sun salute. Here we go, inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor, walk or step back, plank pose, finishing to come down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now go ahead and take a seat. You can come to hero pose, something like this, or just sit all the way down on the floor and just take a little break. You can get a little sip of water if you'd like to. I just want to demonstrate the next movement here. So you can just sit and watch. We're going to be coming back to our warrior 2 position, side angle with a bind. Okay, let me spin around again, like this. So this is first bind. I'm going to take this to second bind. Going a little lower, and clasping fingers. Lifting up, rolling this left shoulder back, just to get some more opening and really experiencing this bind. Here's the next piece. I'm just turning this way. Now I'm going to look down at the floor with an exhale, bringing my left foot up to the top of the mat, shifting weight into my left foot over here, because I'm going to stand on this foot. With a good exhale, core engaged, lifting this right foot up off the floor, flexing the foot just to keep it active, rising up until I'm nice and tall, or fairly tall. I'm not all the way there yet. Once you're about halfway up, look up so you know where you're going. Get nice and tall here. Roll the shoulders back to open up through chest as you're able, and then if you can, maybe extending this leg. This is bird of paradise. Reaching, good extension. We're going to unbind here, because I'm in a bind still, and just move into tree pose. Reaching, just like that. And coming back to mountain pose. Now, let me do the other side with a variation. Okay, let me turn this way. You can still rest here. So here's my side angle pose. First bind. I'm not going to go any lower than this. I'm bringing right hand down behind. But the same sensation. I'm going to bring my right foot up to the top of the mat here, just like this. With this free left hand, I'm going to hold on to my left hamstring. I'm going to face you now. I'm shifting weight into my right foot. With a good exhale, I'm lifting the left foot up off the floor. I'm just picking it up. Lifting here until I'm nice and tall. Roll shoulders back. I'm going to reposition this hand to catch this knee. I can get even taller here. Swing it open a bit more. My right hand's behind me at my low back. Now, doesn't this pose look familiar? We did this earlier. So this is the variation that you can do if you're not going to be going through the bird of paradise position. From here, we'll release and come to tree pose. All right. Okay, so from our seated position, let's return to downward facing dog. Meet me up here. Let's go through that sequence. Inhale, extend your right leg up. Bend and twist open. Exhale, right foot to the top of your mat. Left heel turns to the floor, take a seat. Shifting the weight back so your heel is on the floor, rising up. Exhale, opening to warrior 2. A little wider in your stance. Let's take the side angle. All right, I'm going to go through the first version that I showed you, which is that full bind. But you can go through it with the variation. All right, left hand down behind. Full bind if you're going for it. Hold for a breath or two, just so you can experience the sensation. Now look down at the floor. This is where your left foot's going to go. With an exhale, a little push, so you can step up. If you need to take several steps, that's okay. Bring your left foot to the top of the mat. Now put weight into the left foot. Root down into the ground. Exhale, start to lift, stand up. Right foot lifting. Flex the foot so you have a little bit more action and energy in the leg. Nice and tall. Roll shoulders back. Nice and tall looking forward. You can keep this right knee bent, or if you can extend that leg and go for your bird of paradise. Coming out of the bind, moving into tree pose. So that right foot just comes to the inside of the standing leg. Arms extend up into the air. Good. We all should be in tree pose. Let's bring that knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Keep arms extended. Exhale, swan dive. We're going to get to the other side. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Come on down. Up dog. And downward facing. Move at your own pace. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. Exhale, left foot to the top of your mat. Warrior 1. And our opening into Warrior 2. Okay, a little wider in the stance, side angle. Okay, I'm going to do version 2, if you're in this position with me. So the first bind, right hand comes down behind you. Stay just like this. Or you can do that full bind if you're able. Look down at the floor. With your exhale, a little push from behind. Right foot, step up to the top of the mat. Grab hold of the hamstring with your left hand. Shift your weight into your right foot, root down. Exhale, engaging belly to stand up. And just basically just lifting that leg up into the air. Roll the shoulders back. Swing that knee out to the side. And here's that variation. Hold. Maybe you're in bird of paradise, having extended the leg. Good job. And then releasing into tree pose. Foot comes to the inside of the leg. Unbinding and kind of freeing up the body. Even though we're in balance, this frees the body. Let's turn that knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot, plant the foot into the ground, bring your arms back down by your side, and that completes the sequence. All right, good job. Now, we're going to start this sequence with eagle pose. Let me just show you this. I'm just going to hop into eagle real quick. And feeling that deep binding sensation, and to free up the body, we're going to take the leg that's crossed back into a lunge and open the arms, and you'll be in Warrior 2. So again, that freedom of the body. So from a binding eagle position to an opening warrior position. Okay? All right, so starting at the top of the mat. Starting with eagle pose. Extend the arms out and up. Exhale, bring the arms down slowly. Left arm comes down. Make that X, lift, wrap it up, shifting the weight into the right foot. A little bend of the knees first. Weights in the right foot. Exhale, let's cross left over right. All right, let's get into this pose. Squeeze the legs together. Belly pulls in, squeezing arms. Even a little lift of the elbows. Squeeze a little tighter if you're able. Even think about those binds that you're experiencing in real life off the yoga mat. And as we now kind of demonstrate them on the mat. And now let's experience that freedom. Breathe in, tighter in the body. Exhale, let's uncross the legs. Take the left leg back onto the mat. Lunge, open, Warrior 2. Now, reverse your warrior. Take the right arm up into the air. Big stretch, a nice side body opening. Windmill, bring your hands down to the floor. Just rise up onto the tiptoes behind you. Basically just step forward. So you're in a forward fold. Nice release right here. You can even shake that out for a second. And then reverse the swan dive to come up to standing. Let's go right into the other side. Reach up. Exhale, bring the arms down slowly. Pay attention to the right arm. Bring it down and behind the left. Make your X, lift, wrap it up. Little chair pose, bend of the knees, put weight into your left foot. Exhale, cross right over left. Wrap it up. Go for that intensity. Squeeze. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Binds typically are not comfortable, correct? So kind of dig into that. Dive a little deeper. Take that risk. Just knowing that there's another side to this, that there is freedom, liberation of the body. Here we go. Breathing in, tighter in the body. Exhale, unwrap the legs, step back, opening, Warrior 2. Then reverse the warrior, left hand reaching up into the air.
that nice side body stretch. And we'll windmill to bring the hands back down to the floor. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you for a lunge. We'll step forward. Nice forward fold right here. Another release if you like, especially through the arms. Inhale, let's reverse the swan dive. Come all the way up, reach into the air. Exhale, hands to your heart. Great job. Let's go ahead and release all of that again. Okay. What's possibly next? All right, we're going to start again with that eagle pose, opening up to warrior two, reverse the warrior, then we're going to go into that same bind into our bird of paradise, into tree. So it's a big segment here. Do your best. Don't forget you have two versions that you can just kind of play around with. That full bind, which I'm calling second bind, or that first bind where you're not in that full lunging position with the fingers folded, okay? All right, starting in mountain pose. So we're starting with eagle. Let's inhale, take the arms into the air. Exhale, arms down. Left arm comes down behind the right at the elbows. Make your X. Wrap it up. Little bend of the knees. Weights in the right foot. Root. With an exhale, cross left over right. Little squeeze of the legs. Belly and arms. Breathe in. Let's release. Exhale, warrior two. Left foot steps back, open the body. Reverse the warrior for the side body stretch. Side angle right here. Right arm comes down, left arm extends. Left hand comes down behind you. Here's first bind, or move into second bind if you're able. Roll this left shoulder back, opening up the torso sideways. Hold for a second for this fullness of the bind. Look down at the floor with an exhale, stepping left foot to the top of the mat. Put weight into that left foot, root. Exhale, stand up, lifting the right foot up off the floor. Lift, nice and tall. Look up, look forward, roll shoulders back. Keep right knee bent or extend the leg for your bird of paradise. Hold. We're still in that bind. Let's release it. Right foot to the inside of the standing leg. Tree. Very good. Keep the arms as they are. Swing this knee forward, lifting knee, flex foot. Plant the foot down, arms stay extended. Other side. Arms come down. Right arm coming down and behind the other. Wrap it up. Weights in the left foot after you soften up the knees. Exhale, right leg crosses over the left. Good breathing here. Tightness in the body. Let's release it. Breathe in first for a little tighter sense of the body. Exhale, release it. Right foot back, lunge. Warrior two, open. Reverse your warrior. Left arm up into the air. Side angle. Left arm comes down, right arm up initially. Then bring right hand down behind you for first bind or second bind. You have to make sure you're low enough, like so. Going for that bind. Torso turns sideways, shoulder rolls back. Feel it. Then look down at the mat. With an exhale, stepping right foot to the top of the mat, shifting weight into that right foot, root. Exhaling, lift. Remember to flex this left foot so it's active and strong. As you stand, get tall, look forward as best as you can. Roll your shoulders back. The left knee can stay bent or extend the leg for your bird of paradise. Hold. Tree. Release the bind. Bring that left foot to the inside of your standing leg. Arms up into the air. A little bit more freedom in the body. Excellent. Keep the arms extended. Swing knee forward. Lifting knee, flex foot, plant the foot. We're still in motion. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk or step back. Plank pose, come down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the floor. Sit back briefly in hero pose. I'm going to introduce one more bind. Let's swing the legs around to the front. Let's sit nice and tall. This is staff pose. So straight legs, flexed feet, hands on the mat by your hips. pressing into the floor so you have a good lengthened spine. Once again, roll the shoulders back, engaging the back body. Going to mirror you. So lean over to your left side so you can bend your right knee like this. And as best as you can, just bring it in as close as you can. Just be mindful of how this feels on your knee. Keep leaning over to this side. And if you need to or want to, what I like to do is actually lift myself up and scoot myself forward a little bit more. Then extend this right arm up into the air. You can even stretch to the side like this. And then reach forward out towards that extended leg. You're not going to touch the foot or grab hold or anything. You're just in that direction. But you want to pay attention to your shoulder and knee over here. Maybe they're aligned, and it's okay if they're not. If they are, you might be able to get to the next part. Turn or spin the palm away. Bend the elbow so you can wrap this arm around the knee or shin, basically. Come back to more of a seated position so you can lift this hand over here and reach behind you, hooking the fingers. So again, another bind. Couple breaths here. It's okay if the fingers are not hooking together behind you or by your side over there. You might, again, just maybe have this hand at your low back. And maybe this hand is just holding onto the shin. This acts well as a binding position. Okay, let's go ahead and unbind. We'll go ahead and re-extend the leg. Again, kind of feeling some freedom in the body. Back to our staff pose, hands on the floor, shoulders roll back. And we'll do the other side. So go ahead and lean to your right. So you can bring this left foot in, bend the knee. Maybe it only stops at one spot. So I just invite you then to lift and kind of scoot forward. Again, if that feels okay in your knee, then you can do that. If that doesn't feel great, then maybe you want to have that foot way out front, which means your bind may be something like this. Okay? Keep leaning over here. We'll take this left arm up into the air, little side body stretch, and reach forward out towards the toes, making sure the shoulder and knee are aligned with one another right here. I'm going to spin the hand and arm away so I can wrap this arm around the shin, sit down so I can lift this free hand over here, reach behind, there we go, hooking the fingers. Again, find the bind that works best for you. Again, it's okay if the fingers don't touch. Because even here we have that body contact, part of that binding sensation. A couple more breaths. And we'll go ahead and release. And let that leg go. Come back to an active staff pose for a second. And then go ahead and release. Just sit comfortably. Maybe just cross your legs. Here's how we'll get into that position. All right. You just stay where you are. I'm going to show you this from down dog. We're going to I'm taking my right leg up into the air, bend and twist open, like so. I'm going to flip it over. And this right foot, the toes are just going to touch the ground. I'm spinning around and just kind of sliding into this position that we just did together. This right arm is free, my right knee is bent. I'm reaching forward, same thing, creating the bind. Now what's going to happen is you're going to be facing the opposite direction. But we'll flip back over, watch. So after the bind, we'll release. My left hand just comes behind me so I can lean back. This right foot's on the inside. It needs to go to the outside. So I'm just going to step over onto the toes. Okay, you're going to pivot on those toes right here so you can spin into downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. All right, want to try it with me? So let's come to hands and knees. Meet me up in downward facing dog. And let's try that together. Here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend, twist open. Carefully, if you're able, spin around. Let the toes touch ground. Kind of slide by extending the left leg out front. Right knee is bent. Right arm extends up. Let's lean forward and create the bind. Here we are. A couple breaths. All right, releasing. I'm just going to lean back into the left hand. Take the right foot, just step it over. Get on the toes there because you're going to pivot. And as you pivot, right hand comes to the floor. So you actually just take that left leg straight up into the sky. Bend and twist. And flip. Foot comes down, slide into the pose. Nice and tall, reach. Bind. Couple breaths here. Good job. And we're releasing. Just going to lean back into the right hand. This left foot's just going to cross. It's kind of down by the shin. Okay? Get on the toes there. So you can spin around. Just going to do a regular downward facing dog. Jump, step, or walk. Both feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Coming all the way back up, reaching high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hold. Arms down by your side. Take a couple of breaths. Of course, we have to put it all together. Okay. Starting from what we did earlier. Starts with the eagle pose, that whole sequence. Okay? First, just standing tall, arms down by your side. We're starting with eagle, our first bind. Inhale, extend the arms up. Do your best here. Go at your own pace. Exhale, arms come down. Left arm comes down behind the right. Wrap it up. Little bend of the knees. Weights in the right foot. Cross left over right. Squeeze. Tight. Bound. Breathe in. Exhale, warrior two. Left foot steps back. Re-extend the arms. Reaching up, reverse warrior. Side angle. Reaching up and open, ready for our next bind. First bind or second bind. Looking down at the floor, exhale. Left foot to the top of the mat. Shifting weight into the left foot here. Root down. Stand up. Flexing the right foot. Standing. Do your best. Roll shoulders back. Look forward. Maybe bird of paradise, extending that right leg. Tree pose. Right foot to the inner. Left leg reaching into the sky. Follow me. Swing this right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. I'm going to hinge forward. My left knee is soft. Extend that right leg back. Set the toes down behind. We'll be in a high lunge. Breathe in. Exhale. Bring the hands down to the floor. This left foot should sweep back and up into the air for down dog. Bend and twist. Here's that new part. Flip it over. Left foot comes down. Slide into this sensation. Ready for this other bind. Left arm wraps around the left leg. Right hand behind, clasping as you're able. Releasing, leaning back into that right hand. We're taking the left foot, crossing it over onto the toes, so you can take it back to downward facing dog, a regular down dog. Walk, step, or even hop. Both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come to standing. Ready for the other side. Eagle. Arms come down. Right arm comes down and behind the left. X, lift and wrap. Bend of knees, weights in the left foot. Cross right over left. Wrap it. Feel the bind. Breathing deeply. Ready to release it with an exhale. Step right foot back. Warrior two. Opening. Reverse the warrior. Reaching arm into the air. Side angle. Left arm down. Right arm up. Reach. Bind. Right hand down. Full bind if you're going for it. Look at the floor with an exhale. Right foot to the top of the mat. Shifting weight into that right foot. Lift. Stand. Do your best. Use that other version if you need to. Roll shoulders back. Looking forward. Extending left leg for bird of paradise. We're going to tree. Releasing the bind. Left foot to the inner leg. Reaching into the sky. A nice liberated pose. Arms stay extended. Left knee turns forward. Lifting knee with the flexed foot. Bend the right knee a little so we can hinge. Reach out with the arms. Step back with the left foot. Landing on the toes. High lunge. Fold with an exhale. Hands to the floor. Right leg extends up and back. Bend and twist. Flip it. And then slide into the pose. Knee bent. Right arm extends. Reaching out. Here's our bind. One more breath. Almost there. Lean back into the left hand. We'll step the right foot over the left, spin around, downward facing dog. Let's take a seat. You can hop forward, cross your legs, take your seat right here, and go ahead and roll onto your back. Here we are. You made it through that very challenging sequence. Maybe just some movement here. I'm just circling the knees. You can circle the feet. Some release in the ankles. And as you're catching your breath, because I know I'm catching my breath, kind of go back to your personal intention for your practice and those binds, those obstacles, those things that you maybe presently are dealing with. And maybe just by moving through this vinyasa together, we have discovered ways that we can actually get out of those binds, or just knowing that we have the ability, we have these internal strengths and truths about ourselves that really allow us to get through some really hard times. Let's set the feet onto the floor. We'll take the knees out to the side like this, bending the knees, just a reclining cobbler's pose. You can kind of melt into the ground. This is a nice releasing posture as well. Again, just amplifying the sensation of being in a bind, but then being free from them. And this is a nice opening posture that demonstrates that. So just rest calmly. Tune into your breathing. We'll just take one more pose before we move into Shavasana, and that's a twist. You can even add any other pose. If you want to do an inverted posture or another hip opener, please feel free. Of course, this is your practice. You can do whatever you want here. I'm just going to take a twist. I'm taking the knees over to the left side, extending the right arm to the right side. Nice release in the low back. A couple more breaths. And whenever you're ready, no rush, bring the knees back up to center and down to the other side. Spinal twist. And a couple more breaths. You can bring the knees back up to center and extend the legs out in front of you with your arms down by your side. Just rest completely in Shavasana. Let the feet relax, your legs, your hips. Feel your back just melt into the ground. Yeah, do that. Maybe take a nice full breath in and exhale with the sigh through your mouth. Maybe one more time if you'd like. And as you sigh, you really feel that melting sensation. Again, a nice physical expression of feeling released from those binds. Hold here as long as you'd like.
Noticing the calming effect of your breath. Noticing the quality of your breath. Maybe you've made space so that you're able to take long, slow, deep breaths. Maybe you released something from within in this binding practice. It allows for the freedom of this pranic energy, prana, this life force,
to really move freely and fully through you. Take 2 more breaths, or just stay here again as long as you like to. And when you do feel ready to move, just a movement of your fingers, your toes, your feet, your hands. As movement returns, perhaps roll on to either side of your body, just moving into a nurturing pose, just that nice reminder that it's good to take care of yourself. Again, you can hold here as long as you'd like. And whenever you are ready, just rise up slowly, take your time and come to a seated posture. Nice long spine, sitting up tall. Feel proud. Feel proud of yourself, feeling achieved, accomplished. You can let your arms and hands just rest in your lap or bring hands to heart center. On your own, take another full breath in, fill yourself up. Exhale completely. Hold for a moment in stillness. And as we complete our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.